I-14, we have been seeing a lot of heavy cloud coverage, and as we're heading into Wednesday night, we are starting to see some scattered showers pushing across northern Mississippi, slowly working its way across the state, so eventually it will reach us in Columbus. Temperatures right now with this line coming through, obviously temperatures are going to be a little bit cooler off toward northwest, sitting in the low to middle 70s. A little bit closer to the eastern border in central Mississippi, we're still sitting in the low to mid 80s. Louisville holding on to 83 right now. It's 80 in Columbus, Vernon, and Hamilton, 81 and averaging 82 in Macon, 79 in Starkville, West Point. It's also 79 up toward north in Corinth. Corinth hasn't seen that rain just yet, so once they do, they will quickly cool down. Temperatures tonight will also be dropping as we head through the night out of the 70s, heading towards the 60s. Overnight, we're expected to hit 66 as our overnight low temperature. Cloud coverage is lingering, so is the chance of seeing some of those scattered showers. It's warm, it's humid, it's muggy, and our winds are going to relax. If you've been outside today,
This is brought to you by the Democracy of Ernestine Robinson and her foundation on the United States dollar.
It's been a bit breezy, so we will see those relax as we head through the overnight hours. Across the corner, temperatures tonight sit in the middle to upper 60s. 67 is our low for Macon, Louisville, and West Point. 68 and Starkville, 66. Aberdeen and Tupelo, 65 for Oxford. Heading into our Thursday, high temperatures are going to be warm, borderline hot again, heading back towards those middle to upper 80s.
It's just a body of evidence.
84 is our expected high temperature. Potentially 85 or greater, depending on how much clearing we get, but we will hit those upper 80s during the late afternoon between 2 and 4. We'll see
with battery acid on it.
Very light chance of scattered showers throughout our Thursday, mostly coming through the evening. Across our corner, temperatures warm again, upper 70s to those middle.
Just cried out to God today, asked God to deliver, and let the young people put the gun down.
The shooting is still under investigation. I did speak to members of the family, and they tell me that it's sad that people just can't go to work. So we will continue to keep you updated on this story at WTVA 9 News at 6. Reporting live in Clay County, Chris Halls, WTVA 9 News.
Happening right now, a concern about fires in one local county with the wind whipping up. WTVA's Garner Montgomery joined us live in Oxford with a warning from local firefighters.
I'm coming to you from the Ole Miss campus. The concern isn't here specifically. It's from Lafayette County as a whole, specifically by Lafayette County firefighters. Take a look at this message on Twitter posted late this afternoon. As you can see, county firefighters have been busy dealing with fires, 3 of them all today, and that led to an appeal for folks to not do any outdoor burning today. Those firefighters made a similar plea on social media earlier this morning. The problem is the wind is about 20 to 30 miles an hour in parts of North Mississippi with gusts up to 40 miles an hour, and that's the reason we're seeing these fires pick up so quickly. WTVA Chief Meteorologist Matt Laubon will touch on that a little bit later in our newscast. Reporting live from Oxford, Garner Montgomery, WTVA 9 News.
The Mississippi State Fire Academy has announced 27 students will graduate from a National Fire Protection Association course held in Jackson, and several of the firefighters are from our region. Firefighters from Columbus, Corinth, Louisville, and New Albany are among the graduates. Graduation will be held Thursday in Jackson. This intense 7-week course includes online classroom and hands-on instruction in the areas of fire behavior, fire suppression, rescue, incident command, hazardous materials, and other fire-related topics. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration today announced fines against 4 makers of e-cigarette products, accusing them of not getting proper FDA authorization to sell their products in the U.S. FDA officials say the 4 companies were warned to take their illegal products off the market, but they did not comply. The FDA said that the maximum fine is more than $19,000 for each violation. The companies now have 30 days to pay the fine, make a settlement, request an extension, or request a hearing. The director of the FDA's Center for Tobacco Products said the agency's actions should be a wake-up call that all tobacco product manufacturers, big or small, are required to obey the law. People from Tennessee have been giving money to Mission Eurasia to help send food, Bibles, and other donations to Ukraine, which was invaded almost a year ago by Russia. Mission Eurasia in Franklin, Tennessee has boxed up 210,000 care packages for Ukrainians since last February, and it actually helped evacuate more than 22,000 people, distributed more than 13,000 hygiene kits, and provided over 1,000 wood-burning stoves to families as well as churches. Now the mission is also sending supplies to Moldova and Poland, where refugees are living. City leaders held a Boys to Men event this morning in Louisville. This comes after a recent mass shooting left the community worried. City leaders want change, and this is just the start of it happening. Now, the event is happening so that the Louisville community men can actually rise up to be leaders and voices of reason for the younger generations. This was the first year that the city has had an event like this. With so many mass shootings in communities like Louisville is just tired and they want something to be done. Louisville Mayor Will Hill says what they aim to focus on after this event.
But we must focus on the solutions and get out into the community and demonstrate leadership, demonstrate love. That means care. It means compassion. It also means possibly discipline. Let's just be there for our younger generations.
Mayor Hill says he does not want to just dwell on the negative because he knows there are a lot of wonderful, great kids in the community. It's just that they get overshadowed by the behavior of a few. That is why he says being there for the future generation is what the community has to do. The community needs men to rise up and show the young generations the right way. Mayor Will Hill thanks the men of the city of Starkville for their presence and everyone else that attended this morning. He says if a small percentage of what showed up today take action, then that is more than what they had before. He also added that everyone should step in and step up and be a leader in the Louisville community. Tonight, we continue our Black History tributes with a look at the historic Tupelo community known as Shake Rag. WTVA's Wayne Herford joins us live in the studio with a closer look at how it affected the lives of those who live there and its importance to the city of Tupelo's history. Wayne?
Historians say it was a 60-acre tract of land that was home to 169 families. It lasted for 50 years and was built around 1910 as a home for freed slaves. They called it Shake Rag.
I most remember about, we call it across the track by the time that I had grown up. And what I remembered was the fellowship of community.
It was unity. It was neighborly. And everybody was concerned about your children. But it wasn't all good. It wasn't all bad.
This is a film of Shake Rag, shot sometime in the 1960s by a city worker named Blue Long, who was over the Tupelo Housing Authority. Marion Smith and Leroy Springer were relatives who both called it home.
Shake Rag, you call it. But we had everything there. We didn't need to leave the neighborhood for anything. We had our own bars, our own cultures, our own dances, our own sorts of music.
So this was a thriving community, even in the, the turn of the century, the 1920s.
Boyd Yarbrough is an Oren-Dunn Museum volunteer who says the Cadence Bank Arena and some of the areas around it are where Shake Rag once stood.
Now, this is Elizabeth Street on the east side, the back side, if you will, of the Cadence Bank Arena. Also, the east border, I'm told, of Shake Rag. As it sits, the east side would have been very easy for a young guy, say Elvis Presley, to wander into and take in all of the life that went on here.
If you saw the film, the Elvis film, where it's intercut between him peeking in the juke joint and going to the tent revival, Sam Bell told me that story for the first time in 2005. That absolutely happened.
But sadly, Shake Rag was burned to the ground in the 1960s to make way for a government program known as urban renewal.
I was away that summer. I was in St. Louis with my aunt. And so when I came back, it was gone. And so it was like just something sort of devastating in a way. But and in another way, they had told us that it was going to be rebuilt.
Now, many of the Shake Rag residents were provided homes in the Tupelo Housing Authority on North Green Street. Others moved elsewhere after the burning of Shake Rag. You can see that film on Shake Rag in its entirety Thursday night at 6 p.m. at the Gumtree Arts Museum in Tupelo. There will also be a Q&A and a discussion afterwards about what happened. Now, by the way, the Orndon Museum will present the What Happened to the Class of 1940 that we talked about last week. That will happen next Monday night at the Orndon Museum. Reporting live in the studio, Wayne Herford, WTVA 9 News.
A Mississippi state official has been appointed to the Federal Agricultural Board that deals with meat and poultry.
There's nothing your faggot can come up with
WTVA
that's,
9 News at 5.
I mean, you even lost entertainment value. You're now just something to critique.
You just done heroin. I know she can get that in contract. I got sober. I'm not giving up on her. If I can't trust you, I can't work with you. It's that simple.
Sir, are you injured? I'm gonna help you, okay?
And because you're just a thing, your ability to impress me is gone.
In America, the future belongs to everyone. So we created the all-time best-selling SUV for everyone. Ford Explorer ST, with an available 3-liter EcoBoost V6 engine that delivers 400 horsepower in one stylish package. Because the SUV of the future is made for America. Ford Explorer ST. Drive one today.
New inventory is here, but it won't last long. Get 0% financing plus $1,000 bonus cash on a 2022 Ford Explorer. Only at your local Ford dealer.
Are you tired of looking at that worn-out floor? It's time for a fresh new look, and Stouts Carpet and Flooring is the way to go. At Stouts Carpet and Flooring, we have a great selection of luxury vinyl tile and planking to choose from. This product is low-cost, versatile, durable, and looks like your favorite hardwood, stone, or tile. We have ideas and options for any size room and budget. Redwood, wet-proof, waterproof wood. Stouts Carpet and Flooring in New Albany.
Come see us at South Carpet.
Nearly a dozen hours at the eye Warner Shore. There's split breaking news.
All right,
U.S. Senator Roger Wicker of Mississippi joins an effort to reintroduce the Orbital Sustainability Act. Wicker says a bipartisan bill would establish a first-of-its-kind demonstration program that would reduce the nearly 1 million pieces of space junk in orbit. Wicker adds that the U.S. is the world's top space-faring nation, but he says space debris threatens that progress, that the nation must invest in technology to keep the atmosphere clear for future exploration. A news release says there are approximately 8,000 metric tons of debris currently in orbit, including at least 900,000 individual pieces of debris that are potentially lethal to satellites. A Mississippi State University food safety specialist has been named to the U.S. Department of Agriculture's National Advisory Committee on Meat and Poultry Inspection. Brian Williams is an associate extension professor of food science specializing in muscle foods processing, regulations, and safety. He was recently appointed by the USDA Secretary. Williams is also a member of the MSU Department of Food Science, Nutrition, and Health Promotion. Williams will help make recommendations to the USDA inspection programs, which actually impact food safety policies and help shape regulatory policy related to meat and poultry. He will serve a 2-year term on the committee. Well, right now you are taking a live look at Starkville, and you can see it's kind of cloudy out there. It is 83 degrees, though. When we come back, our chief meteorologist, Matt LaPond, joins us to bring you your complete severe weather authority forecast.
Medicare can be confusing, but at Ricky...
We go into
donated $2.5 million, and billionaire brothers Jude and Christopher Reyes each gave DeSantis committee $1 million. DeSantis will host a 3-day retreat for donors this weekend in Palm Beach, and his memoir will be released next week. Former President Donald Trump visits East Palestine, Ohio today, where a massive toxic train derailment occurred more than
Lindor, made to melt you by the Lindt Master Chocolatier.
Feeling healthy by leaps and bounds. Making a dinner that makes their whole day. Our Father.
Come on, traded righteousness for pleasures of sin. And now that things have gotten way out of hand, you're wondering how, and you're wondering when. Hate is filtered right into
Palestine, Ohio today, where a massive toxic train derailment occurred more than 2 weeks ago. Thousands have been evacuated since the derailment, which caused toxic chemicals to be released. Trump says he'll fight to get answers and accountability after the derailment. Criticism has also surrounded the Biden administration, as many believe they should be doing more to aid in this situation. The application deadline for the Mississippi Department of Education's Mississippi Teacher Residency Program has been extended. The Mississippi State Board of Education voted in December 2021 to award almost $10 million in grant funds to 5 universities. The money will help cover tuition and expenses for up to 200 aspiring educators seeking a master's degree in elementary and special education. Those universities are Delta State, Jackson State, Mississippi State, the University of Southern Miss, and William Carey University. The program includes 42 participating school districts. Applications will be accepted on a rolling basis until all 200 slots are filled or the universities can no longer accept candidates. This is part of an effort to address the national teacher shortage. Coming up on WTVA 9 News at 6, WTVA's Chris Knowles will be ship company will begin stops in Greenville this Friday. The mayor says this will bring thousands of tourists to the area. The Greenville mayor serves as co-chair of the Mississippi River Cities and Towns Initiative. Mayor Simmons approached Viking last year about adding Greenville as a stop for Viking to experience the Delta culture. Mississippi State University's annual Race in America lecture series will spotlight race, crime, and victimization in the Latinx community. Arizona State University sociology and criminology professor Anthony Peguero will give the lecture March 2nd at 3 p.m. in Mississippi's Giles Hall. It's free and open to the public. The professor says the Latinx population is the United States' largest racial minority. Madonna's song about the life of a material girl is one of her first hits in the 1980s, and now that lifestyle is for sale in Hollywood. But it will take much material wealth to move in.
Zaxby's Asian.
Well, the rain has arrived here in Mississippi. Be sure, not Mississippi, I'm sorry, Tupelo. You can hear it over our station here. Be sure to stay tuned for WTVA 9 News at 6. Matt will have an update on your weather. Plus, we are still following that breaking news from Clayton.
You came in after.
The evening across our corner
cause a hole. Any type of external pressure can cause that hole, but a lot of times it's rain droplets. Once that opens up, there are spores down in here in the inside of that cap that are brown and very fine. And the reason it gets the term devil snuff box, if anybody knows what sweet snuff is, it's a very powdery type of tobacco.
Okay.
And as kids, that's one of the things we used to do is when we would find one, we'd go up and put our foot on it and just tap it lightly, and you could see those spores coming out. It'll puff out.
It's almost like a chimney.
Exactly. That's exactly what it's like. It's just like a chimney. It's releasing what's inside of it.
And now you said the stuff that comes out of this fungus, that's how it reproduces and makes more, correct?
Right. So it's air. Those spores are thrown into the air, and it'll go and start other puffballs.
Now, is this edible?
So, when it's entirely white. I have not eaten one before, but when it's entirely white, in all the way through it, they say it is edible. But I would strongly urge, if anybody wants to try one, that they positively identify one and that it's young enough that it is edible. There's a lot of different mushroom types that, if you don't properly identify them, they can be deadly.
Right.
So I would personally say just observe it, enjoy it, but I wouldn't eat it myself.
That's a fair warning. This is a devil's snuff box, and this is Next to Nature. We'll see you next time.
Kick.
The Diamond Dogs needed a rebound today against ULM after dropping yesterday's game 11-5. And it's yet another freshman getting a start on the mound. And it's safe to say it's a guy Bulldog fans are pretty excited to see. Freshman switch pitcher Jurangelo Sainja. We got our first look at him on Sunday against VMI when he came in for relief, but he only threw with his right arm, and that's because head coach Chris Lamotis said he slept on that left wrist. But he did it last night, so in his first career start today, Sainja threw 7 strikeouts through 4 innings pitched, 6 of those coming from the right side and 1 from the left. The only blemishes in his start was 1 walk and 1 hit by pitch. The Bulldogs are currently up 8-0 in the 7th inning. We'll have highlights for you coming up later. What's the best way to get out of a midweek slump? Well, let's celebrate Hump Day at the Dude. MSU brought in a pretty special guest. This is Missy the Camel, who was just chilling at the Dude, making some friends, and she even got to meet our very own Cam Dyer. He said she was super friendly and extremely food motivated. Gotta love baseball season. Ole Miss head coach Mike Bianco announced yesterday that ace Hunter Elliott won't be pitching this weekend. We got some more details about his reasoning following their win over Arkansas State last night. Elliott pitched 4 innings in his start Friday night versus Delaware, then felt some tightness in his forearm. Bianco said he started to feel better the next couple days, but they still ordered up an MRI to be safe, so we won't be seeing him on the bump this weekend, but we'll keep you updated with the details as we get them. Ole Miss men's basketball's overtime loss to Mississippi State this past weekend dropped the Reds to 10-17 overall and 2-12 in conference. They'll try to mend that bleeding tonight as they face Auburn for the 2nd time this season, and they fell by just 9 to then 21st ranked Auburn back on January 10th. That game is coming up tonight at 8 p.m. We'll have highlights for you later. That will do it for sports. We'll be back after the break.
Last chance to save big at Ashley Home Store's grand opening President's Day sale. Save up to 50% off. Shop deals like this queen bed, now only $5.99. Don't miss it. Ends Monday. Only at Ashley Home Store. Now open in Oxford.
He gets so hot in the center, and he's not actually a good color. He like starfish, so like we'll end up being over there. Rich will end up being over there. It's like, we were together for just about 10 years. We weren't actively looking per se, but we had a conversation, and I was like, I love you, and I also want to be open to loving other people, like, together. No, I was like, absolutely not. Like a month and a half later, we met lunch. We met on Grindr. These two were about 30 feet away, actually like 3 houses down. They were out on Fire Island, and I was like chatting, I was bored. And it was like love at first sight. It was a really wild moment where you kind of have to step back and be like, what is normal? Is it actually normal? Now you're just like, you know what? Actually, I'm okay with it. We have 3. relationships? Four. Ours, theirs, and collectively. With Rumples, equality is like a strange word. It's like what's fair, what's equal, what's right for you. It's more boundaries. Like, hey, this is where we're comfortable. This is where we're comfortable this month, this year, and then those things can change. The three of us are partners. They came before me and they have 10 years of history, but at the same time, we're equal in our relationship. Me coming out as a Rumple was just as hard as coming out as gay. After a year, I was like, this is very serious. And so I called my dad and I told him. He was very supportive and he's like, I don't understand it, but you're happy. And I said, I'm very happy. It's not something people are remotely accustomed to or like trained to understand. But they love and support love. And one of the interesting things about polyamory is like once you change your way of thinking, it kind of opens the gate to love without bounds.
Been ready for work or play. Plus, there's a great selection in stock and ready for delivery today. So get into Ford Truck Month and see what a Build Ford Tough truck can do for you. Don't miss 0.9 for 60 plus complimentary maintenance through Ford Pass Rewards on the 2022 F-150.
Do you have a favorite